Hello my friends and welcome. Today we have mostly positive news from the front lines. Ukraine has the success near to Ukr-Rus. Our army is moving northbound towards Opitne and the Bakhmut city. Let's check out the other military source for this update. So definitely this is Ukr-Rus village, and Ukrainian army has 3 of the vectors of attack. This one was quite successful, but there is the Russian artillery operation. Also, they continue to target Ukr-Rus village itself. There are a couple of the roads that might help Ukraine to advance towards the Bakhmut city during the wet season, and at some points of the front lines, the wet season has already been started. Around 3 days ago, Russia tried to counterattack the Ukrainian defense forces from the north of Ukr-Rus. They went to this place, but here they were ambushed by Ukrainian defenders, plus Ukraine put some of the mines over here. So the counterattack attempt for the Russian forces was the total disaster. I still don't think that Ukraine has resources to go to the Bakhmut city right now, and Russia, by the way, advanced from Bakhmut towards Hromovo. So they also try to expand their controlled territory before the winter comes. During the winter period, I do not expect a major change on the front lines near to the Bakhmut city. Our next stop is obviously Avdiivka, the hottest place on the front line. The fighting is ongoing mostly on the north near to Krasnogorivka. Today Russia tried to propel even more at this part of the front lines, but all of their attack attempts failed. Moreover, Ukraine was able to target the Russian supply convoys behind the front lines. I'm gonna show you some of the screenshots of that. Here we have the drone footages of that convoy, the operation of Ukrainian army with artillery shells. What Russia does with their continuous failed attempts to get Avdiivka encircled is total insanity. And here we see the fresh tanks and armored vehicles that Russia used to get Avdiivka encircled. They have tremendous constant losses in that area. My friends, before we go to more details about what is happening on the front lines, let me tell you about the partner and the sponsor of my channel. It is the Atlas VPN. Recently they came out with a Black Friday deal, which was designed especially for my followers, where you might get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $149 per month plus 12 months extra. This is the best and the cheapest offer from all of the VPN services on the market right now. It has military encryption standards, strongly securing your data and your devices from being reached by government, unwanted ads, and also hackers. Yes, you may say hackers, why do they need my account? Well, actually, my friends, I got personal experience that my pilot blog channel dedicated to aviation was hacked. Then I was using public Wi-Fi. All of my videos were deleted, and after that hackers told me to send Bitcoin for them and they will open access to my own account. I didn't transfer anything and just started the new channel with the same name. And obviously after that case I use the VPN all of the time, and for me personally Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. It has a security breach device monitoring feature, so it alerts me that someone tries to reach my device. Then I use the public Wi-Fi. Then I see that message, I disconnect from that public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN is very fast. It guarantees you the best streaming connection. Then you watch movies on Netflix. And also by changing your virtual location, you may get access to watch all of the movies, all of the series on Netflix platform. It helped me a lot. So now my friends, please check out my personal link or scan the QR code available on the screen, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for the record low price with the Black Friday deal for $149 per month, plus you'll have 12 months extra. The deal is obviously time limited, so hurry up to join the club. Now we have the video from the Bakhmut direction. That is how our guys were able to move forward, because they have the cluster munition artillery shells. You may see the operation of it, and here is the road which is now under control by Ukrainian forces. Again, more convoys of the Russian vehicles were kaboomed by our guys in Kupiansk direction, where Russia also tries to get more ground under control. If we check out the military map over there, you may see the gradual advancement of the Russian forces, but it's just the map clarification. So definitely the front line was going across the Oskil River for the very long time. It's not the advancement of the Russian army which happened just yesterday. No, it is for already many weeks. We knew that Russia tried to assault towards Kupiansk, but unsuccessfully, so they moved westbound a little to reach the river. Still, I think they have the plans to advance towards Kupiansk, but now their main goal is Avdiivka. It's the Putin's political goal. He wants to have the achievement before elections or before his nomination as the candidate for the president's chair in Russia. Alright, let's return to Avdiivka for a while, because we have the confirmation that Russia is unable to deploy their forces in this hill. Yes, it's red on the military map, but actually Russia struggles to establish control over this area. Today they sent some of the infantry to the hill, and the infantry was targeted by the Ukrainian drones. Here's the hill near to Avdiivka, where the Russian infantry was targeted by the Ukrainian FPV drones. Awesome job from the Ukrainian defenders to defend Avdiivka. We also have the video confirmation that Ukraine was able to target one more Sanktpeterburg Russian artillery system behind the front lines in Avdiivka. So here's the place near to Novoselivka Druga, and this is Avdiivka town. Russia uses the Sanktpeterburg systems to target the Ukrainian positions, so let's check out the screenshots from the video. Well, the video is not that good quality. You may see that Sanktpeterburg over here staying on the open field. Later on it moved towards the village and was targeted by the Ukrainian FPV drone. Guys, I am unable to publish the full versions of those kind of the videos on this platform, so to get the full access, let's say, go to my Telegram channel. It's available in the video description. If we count all of the Russian military vehicles which they lost since they started the assault operation in Avdiivka, this number will surpass 200. So to be more precise, 215 vehicles they already lost in Avdiivka. It's crazy number. So if they lose that amount of the army vehicles, it means that their infantry losses surpass 1,000. Some sources say that it could be around 4,000. And now let's go to Robotyne, where Ukrainian army takes more ground on the south. So it was yesterday, it is today. This area is now confirmed to be under Ukrainian control without the Russian occupiers. So Ukraine continued to move westbound over here and also towards Kapani. What about the Ukrainian landing operation? Finally, we have the confirmation that our guys landed in Krinky. The Krinky is over here, the part of the village is under Ukrainian control now, and Ukraine performs the artillery assault on the Russian positions together with the infantry landing. Plus, many of the Ukrainian surveillance drones were spotted in the area. Russia also opened the backfire targeting probably Ukrainian boats or something. Ukraine uses the boats like that to transfer infantry and goods across the Dnieper River. And also the simple small rubber boats. By the way, this was filmed in Krinky. Our guys landed there with the infantry forces. As you can see, it's kind of the wet weather out there, but fog around helped the Ukrainian army in their landing operation. So after the short fight, our guys were able to take the part of the village. So Krinky is already the fourth vector of the Ukrainian assault operation. Before it was also in Kazachyi-Lahiry, in this place, and Oleshki also. What the deep state military map resource did, they just covered this area in gray zone. So there are countless small landing operations that Ukrainian army conducts across the Dnieper River, and it's good. We have the potential to move forward trying to encircle the Russian army, but Russian army has the heavy equipment, so Ukraine also needs to transfer it across the Dnieper. We have also numerous of the Russian army vehicles which were targeted by Ukrainian FPV drones and artillery across the Dnieper River on the Russian-controlled territory. This statistics is just for the single months, and most of the vehicles were targeted for the last 10 days. Okay, it seems like the Russian tanks will have less fuel. This time we have the satellite images of the result of the Ukrainian attack on the Russian railroad station. It happened in Donetsk, so Russia used this fuel for their army, and you can see the huge plum is over here. That's why maybe we should expect the pause in the Russian attack attempts. And here's still lots of the few tanks out there, enough for some advancement of the Russian army, potential advancement. Okay, the Kerch Bridge was smoking today again. There was some Terran attack on Crimea. However, the Kerch Bridge itself was intact. Russia just put the smoke generators there and they launched the smoke in case of the threat to this, let's say, facility. What was targeted in Crimea is the Russian military airfield Avdiivka in Saki. As you can see, those traces show that something was burning out there. Locals reported also about the explosions, and according to some of the sources, Russia lost the S-300 air defense systems. Ukraine used the Storm Shadow or Scalp cruise missiles to target this place. Alright, Ukraine obtains more of the French AMX-10 RC tanks. We are speaking about 40 of the armored vehicles. There were actually the cases that Ukraine lost few of those vehicles. This vehicle is great for the infantry support, but still it has wheels, not the caterpillars, so our guys are unable to use those, then the ground is really messy. Not a very optimistic news about the F-16s for Ukraine. It seems like the program of the pilot training will be extended up to 9 months. The Pentagon press secretary says that the realistic scenario for the pilot training in Arizona is between 5 and 9 months. It depends on the individual skills of the Ukrainian pilots. Well, maybe the training in Europe, in Romania, will take less time, who knows. But the perspective is that we're gonna receive the fighter jets not earlier than the spring next year, or maybe even during the summertime. Oh my god, let's speak about the Russian success in Ukraine. For the recent time, since the beginning of the Ukrainian counterattack, Russia was able to target the 37 of the Ukrainian airplanes, fighter jets and others. 6 of the ATACMS missiles were intercepted by the Russian defense. All of this data is coming from Shoigu, the defense minister of the Russian Federation. He also says that if Kiev gets F-16s, in 20 days the Russian air defense will eliminate all of them. What the hell is happening? Where they have those numbers from? From their head, obviously, but why 37? Why 6 ATACMS missiles? Very strange and very cringy. If we speak about the fighter jets in particular, Ukraine has less number than they shut down for the last time. Wow, this is awesome. One more Krasnuha 4M Russian radar and interference electronic warfare was kaputted by Ukrainian army. This thing is very expensive. It may put the distortion for the radio signals for GPS in the vast area. It also may identify the drones and mostly everything. It costs millions of dollars, like a very expensive airplane or even more. It was targeted by the GMLRS missile. Interesting video. So this is not the Batman, this is the Russian soldier who carries the drone. The drone calls Zala, quite sophisticated Russian surveillance drone, and later on it was kaboomed. They didn't make it to their car, and as it was reported, HIMARS was used. We even have the fresh article about it. Russians installed a GPS jammer in Ukraine. The Ukrainians blew it up with a GPS-guided bomb. Well, I don't think that JDAM was used to target it because the explosion was quite small, so I think it was the HIMARS missile, which has the inertial reference system, so it doesn't really need the GPS, but with GPS update, it may reach the target more precisely. Luckily, it hit the Krasnuha 4M. The big interview with Valery Zaluzhny, the general commander of the armed forces of Ukraine, was published today in The Economist. A very interesting and I would say honest article opens the issues in this war also for Ukrainian army. From this interview, we may try to understand the next step for Ukrainian army, let's say for example for the next year. Zaluzhny admitted that the Ukrainian army and the Russian one are in the dead end. Now it is mostly slow positioning war with no big maneuvers on the front lines. That's why we may conclude that the Ukrainian counteroffensive on the south stalled right now, because Russia was able to build lots of the defense lines plus the minefields. So Zaluzhny says that according to the NATO calculations, the counteroffensive should have lasted for 4 months before Ukrainian army reached Crimea. But it didn't happen, as we see, so the Russian defense was quite successful, even though it was penetrated at some points of the front lines. He says that with the modern surveillance systems, with drones Enemy sees everything what we do and we see what enemy does. For example, he says that he visited Avdiivka not a long time ago, then Russia started the offensive operation there. He saw with his own eyes how the Ukrainian army hit 140 Russian armored vehicles. All that information was taken on the drone cameras. The military support that we have from our Western allies is enough to stop the Russian aggression, but not enough to liberate Ukrainian territories and win in this war. We are unable to achieve the victory with the old school weaponry or the old tactics. Definitely this war shows that the strategy of the modern day war changed. We may see it currently in Avdiivka, then Russia uses lots of the forces, but all of them are demolished. Ukraine also tried these tactics not far away from Robotyne, and our convoys were ambushed, so now we are forced to assault with the small groups. Drones, surveillance play a great role in the modern day war. You cannot move large forces nowadays. They will be spotted and they will be demolished. So SirLoonies said about the new methods and the new weaponry which Ukraine might have the next year, for example F-16s. We need to level off the Russian superiority in the skies. Also, he says that the problem for Ukraine is that Russia has insane human resources compared to our country. Now we have enough soldiers, but we should search for the new ways to win in this war. That's why sooner or later we might be in lack of the soldiers. So he wants to search for the new ways to get more men into Ukrainian army. Again, it shows the long-term perspective for this war. It will continue probably for years. And we need the surge in the military support of Ukraine with good weaponry, up-to-date weaponry. Only that is how we might win. But from what I see, Ukraine even doesn't have the promised military supplies. But Russia has it. North Korea already supplied 1 million artillery rounds to Russia. We have this information published in Bloomberg, and they refer to the spy agencies and intelligence services. At the same time, the European Union promised 1 million artillery shells for Ukraine this year. In just a couple of months, the year is over, and European Union fulfilled their promise by just 30%. We are in lack of 700,000 artillery shells. Why is it happening like that? Because the countries were not able to negotiate between each other at the proper time. As far as I remember from my videos, France didn't agree to supply the artillery shells from some certain factory, then the other country didn't agree, then they start to negotiate. It takes lots of the time. So here we may say that dictatorship has the advantage over democracies. They just supply the required amount of the weaponry with a single signature by Kim Jong-un. 1 million shells, and the supplyment to Russia has just been started for a couple of months. Prigozhin's son Pavel Prigozhin became the new leader of the Wagner PMC. He's just 25 years old, but before he already participated in management of the Wagner PMC. Allegedly, Wagner became the part of the Russian Rosguard, but Russian officials did not comment on that topic. It seems like the Ukrainian allies apply the new sanctions on Russia. This time it will touch mostly everything, including needles and screwdrivers. So even the simple tools will be restricted. Putin already commented on that. He said that he's quite satisfied with it. We don't need this European stuff in our country. Needles and screwdrivers. Russia is unable to produce even that stuff. Well, it's not that critical, I think, for Russia, because they still have the Asian countries, China, that may support Russia with everything they need. Well, this stuff is not connected to our topic, nevertheless, it's quite interesting. UK, United States, European Union and China signed a declaration that artificial intelligence is the catastrophic danger for humanity. Nevertheless, unfortunately, the artificial intelligence will continue to develop. Well, humans now develop the artificial intelligence, and it is unstoppable process. Why is it unstoppable? Because there is no any regulations for the AI development, and the world is really separated. Many of the countries want to use the AI as the tool to reach the power or to reach their goals. If, for example, those countries plus European Union understand the danger and will stop the development of the artificial intelligence, let's say tomorrow, there are many of the other countries which will continue. So potentially they will have the advantage over those countries which stop the production or development of AI. Well, we'll see what happens next in a few years, but the development is really unstoppable for this tool. Just a couple of words about the fight between Hamas and IDF. Finally, IDF reached the shore of the Gaza Strip. As you can see, the IDF is very capable. Well, there are many other news about the topic, but I'll not tell them today because this video is already getting long and I think you guys are mostly interested in the situation around Ukraine. But the Middle East topic also touches Ukraine because the world is very global. My friends, don't forget to press the like to this video and please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with a huge discount. It is made especially for my followers. It is time limited, so hurry up to join the club. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.
What the definition of insanity is. Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.